This is again UGC admission type youth is concerned in Sri Lanka. Percentage eligible for university admission. 2012 or 2011, 61% of the student appeared for the A-level examination with full subject cover. 61% qualified for university admission. But we have admitted only 15% of them. 2012, almost 60% eligible for university admission. 20% got admission. Of course, this is a somewhat peculiar year. The intervention of the Supreme Court issue is there. Therefore, this time it was 20% year 2012. That means those who qualified, we recruited about 20% in that year. Let me quickly move into the youth and IT usage. Computer literacy, ownership of the computers, and change from 2006 to 2012. And in fact, today morning I was discussing with the Census Department very latest 2012 census information about IT, youth and Sri Lankan population. Unfortunately, Sri Lankan population 10 years and above is taken. Only about 22% of the Sri Lankan population having some knowledge about how to use the computer. 10 years and above group is. But youth are concerned, that is 15 to 29 group is concerned. National level, almost 65% of the youth now capable of handling a computer. And it is about, at national level, 10% of the youth is having a computer at their home or can have access to computer with smartphones or tabs or any other facilities. But mobile phones, national level, 61% of the youth do have access to mobile phones. Of course, by 2010, 2011, these figures would have increased slightly. We are observing latest figures coming from the 2012 population census. However, Sri Lankan youth are concerned, they are more geared towards the information technology, but their health is not very good. Say about 7% of the teenage pregnancies, if you take 100 pregnancies, 7% is coming from the teenagers and highest in the estate sector. And very importantly, 50%, less than 50% is knowledgeable on the sexual and reproductive health issues. The scientific knowledge is missing. And 63% of the malnourished women are youth. 33% of female youth are anemic. And also, if you believe that deaths due to suicide is highest among the males of 20 to 29. Higher rate of suicides, and also like a group committing suicide kind of images we can observe in our media very frequently. Tobacco use has declined significantly, no doubt, but 27% alcohol users you can observe 15 to 29 age group. 15 to 29. And less than 50% is knowledgeable about the STD and AIDS. Well, I will come to the very important slide here. Youth and their migration desire, to capture some of their final desire. We had conducted a survey in 2010 and tried to find out their desire about what to do after completion of their education. Unfortunately, 51% of the youth decide to migrate for work for some other country. 31% of the youth wish to migrate on another country on permanent basis. More men, Tamils, Muslims compared with the Sinhalese decide to migrate to other countries. Then question comes, why is the tendency to migrate the strongest among youth in Sri Lanka compared to that of many other Asian countries? This is a question I am also puzzled. Say for example, 4,000 vacancies were advertised by the Korean companies. Foreign Employment Bureau advertised 4,000 job vacancies. Over 80,000 youth queued to get the application. And also I know some of the organizations that there was only one vacancy card, a position advertised. More than 60,000 people applied for that particular post. Therefore, this particular desire is very serious, I would say. The youth, perhaps they are not trusting much our local systems very well. Employment opportunities, the fairness in the selection process is challenged by them, and this required for further research. However, youth is the future of the country. Therefore, we need to look at their issues and problems, sexual and reproductive health problems, educational problems, IT issues, higher education, vocational education, all other areas. Therefore, having said, Sri Lanka is far away with so many, like Singapore and South Korea, like demographic dividend, youth bulge is there. But we are facing number of psychological problems and also number of development related problems. Therefore, to conclude what I said, well, we are experiencing youth bulge. Very rarely countries achieve that particular status. Demographic environment is conducive for economic takeoff, like South Korea, Singapore. Presently, lowest level of dependency prevails. The takeoff could provide sustainable benefits to all segments of the population, including youth. If this particular point, if we can push our economy into higher orbit, the youth will also get the benefit. But as a demographer, I would like to highlight another thing. If we late further, the population aging will come up with a very serious level. Therefore, once the population aging is very serious, youth will find greater difficulty to look after their own parents and their grandparents, and there are so many other economic, social related problems. Therefore, demographic dividend alone would not sufficient for enough for economic takeoff. Demographic dividend window of opportunity is not sufficient unless education, knowledge economy, healthy environment, productivity, good savings and productivity need to be assured. Youth, it is an opportunity that should not be missed. If we missed, we are going to embark with the turbulence era, where it will be extremely difficult for us to move into the development. Therefore, rapid development is quite possible right now. Need to act as soon as possible. Thank you very much.